Another week of Top Chef in the books. I will get everybody all caught up on Last Chance Kitchen at the end. So if you want to hear what's going on there, wait around till the end of the video. There will be some spoilers there for those of you who haven't watched that yet. So today's episode, I liked really the idea. This was everyone pitches their idea for Restaurant Wars. Restaurant Wars is always an iconic episode on Top Chef. It's a episode that our chefs always look forward to. And this season, they're throwing a bit of a curveball on that. Before we get to what happened on the pitch, we did have a quick fire. It was inspired by Danny Trejo. He's, a very famous actor, but also getting a lot of notoriety for his good deeds in the community, as well as his taco restaurant. And so today's quickfire is make a taco for Danny Trejo. It was looked pretty good. This is one of those quick fires where you see all the dishes and you're like, wow, those all look delicious. In the end, Stephanie is our winner, and she ends up with immunity, which probably came in pretty handy for her this week. All right, let's get on to the episode. We had some good pitches. We had some bad pitches. We didn't really have that much in between today. Let's start off with our bottom. Our bottom ends up being Stephanie, who had immunity, so she's safe. Eric, who's been one of our best chefs all season long, and Leanne, someone who's just constantly found herself just treading at the bottom or just above the bottom all season long. I felt really bad for Eric today. This is the idea that he's been working on, he's been trying to express all through his time on Top Chef. And for him to really showcase the African cuisine and just completely whiff on it and get sent home was very sad to watch. I thought Eric has been fantastic all season long, and I feel like this is pretty much what happened to him the last time he was on Top Chef. He really went all in with the African food, and it just blew up in his face. Very sad to see, but Eric gets sent packing, and Leanne survives once again. You know, how many lives does she have? Doesn't matter. She just keeps sticking around, and every week she survives is another week closer to the finale. So let's move on and get to our top. So there was 2 winners today. The idea was all the chefs pitch their restaurant. 2 are selected as winners, and then next week we have those 2 restaurant ideas be the ideas for our restaurant wars. So we end up with 4 chefs in the top. It was Melissa, Kevin, Brian Malarkey, and Gregory. I really think that Gregory and Melissa have elevated themselves to the top of the pack. We're starting to see Kevin, he's probably closing that distance as well now. We have seen him on the bottom several times, but we've also seen him on the top even more times now. So good job for him, and it's going to be interesting to see just which one of these chefs can survive to the end. So I really thought that our 2 winners were going to be Melissa and Gregory, but it ends up being Gregory and Kevin, which I found very interesting. And Kevin really won the judges over with his experience at starting and presenting a restaurant idea. So good for him. And I really think next week that his team really has an advantage. Kevin's concept is really fancy comfort food in a different style, kind of. I don't know if that's a good description, but really flavors that everyone's worked with, dishes that the base of is something everyone's heard of, but with a new twist on it. So that is going to be very interesting, where on the other end, Gregory's concept is Haitian food. And you just got to think like who has experience with Haitian food. Like the judges, part of their decision in picking him as the winner was they felt it was an underrepresented area of uh, dining. It's not something you can go out and get. It's not something easily accessible. So it makes me think that our chefs probably aren't going to have a very good handle on what to do in a Haitian restaurant. So it's going to be interesting to see the two concepts go head to head and just how much it will matter, like the person whose idea it is, uh, on who goes home next week. Because previously I had said my four top chefs were Melissa, Gregory, Eric, and Nini. And the last 2 weeks we've seen Nini and Eric go home. So next week is Gregory on the chopping block. We'll have to wait and see. All right, on to Last Chance Kitchen. So our reigning champion in the kitchen is Nini. We saw Karen come back to the show this week. She won her way back onto Top Chef. So now we see Nini and Eric face off, and their challenge was to present a dish for Tom's Concept Restaurant. I thought this was a pretty big curveball. So they had to make Italian coastal cuisine, seafood. Neither of them had any clue what to do and just winged it. We see Eric get sent packing, and Nini is our reigning queen in the Last Chance Kitchen. I will be rooting for Nini. She was one of my favorites all season long, and she just looks like a lovable, nice person. So that's going to wrap up my recap for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.